For interest purposes, when it comes to Idalia, keep in mind that it started off way down in Central America on the Caribbean side. It is now over Savannah. It's going to leap over the Grand Strand later on tomorrow morning, and then it's going to head out to sea, and it's still going to be a tropical storm, at least at that point by next week. But we're focusing here on South Carolina. And keep in mind that we still do have a flood watch for most of the Palmetto State until at least tomorrow afternoon, probably about 2 o'clock. But the rainfall, well, we already have now flood advisories. First, we have an aerial flood advisory that covers Orangeburg County, pretty much from Wetzel all the way just to the west of Santee, and then all points west. And then we've got another one that covers from downtown Columbia all the way out to Pontiac, Forest Acres, Lower Richland, just to the west of Hopkins or right over Hopkins, and then southern portions of Lexington County, pretty much from, let's just say, from Harbison Boulevard all the way down to the Aiken County line, and then in Saluda, pretty much along Columbia Highway and everything south to Rich Spring and Minetta, and including the eastern half of Edgefield. All of this goes until at least 8:45 to 9 o'clock tonight with the amount of heavy rainfall that we still have. And keep in mind that these are only flood advisories so far. We still have a lot of rainfall that still needs to come through, and we've got thunderstorms now coming out of the low country, and this still needs to get to our Midland communities. And when it's all completely done by tomorrow morning, in addition to the 2, 3, 4 inches of rainfall that the southern Midlands have received, well, the northern Midlands may receive up to an inch of rainfall more, but eastern and southern portions of our Midland communities can still see nearly 3 inches of rainfall and possibly even upwards of 4 to 5 when you get up to the PD into Florence County. Well, we still have the tropical storm warnings because we're still expecting the winds. There's a very high probability for our counties along I-95, so Clarendon, Orangeburg, even into portions of southern Calhoun County could experience very likely the tropical storm winds, and of course along the coastline. But Corey, these tropical storm winds, we are looking at the likelihood of it still impacting all of the Midlands.
Chance of windy weather starting to build into the area now. We talked about this in the last half hour, but this is a radar view, and we can pick up wind speeds on radar and see this pink right here in portions of Aiken County. This is pretty far away from the radar site at the airport, so it's high off the ground, but that pink indicates between 58 and 75 miles per hour. What that means is that the likelihood of tropical storm force winds or wind gusts is increasing because we're able to detect that at least aloft. And you can see that in the gusts that we've seen across the Midlands so far. 34 miles per hour in St. Matthews, 35 in Orangeburg, 36 in Aiken, and 33 in Saluda. A little bit of a lower total here, 28 miles per hour in Columbia, 34 in Bishopville, and 14 in Camden as you get a little bit further towards the north and east. Taking a look across the state, around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then as that center rotation here really moves into portions of the low country and southern Midlands, we'll expect those to move up. You can see that on the model here. These darker blues indicate tropical storm wind gusts possible, especially south of I-20. As you go through about 10 to 11 p.m. tonight, that's when we expect the rain to move out. And let's talk about that rain, because the heavy rain continuing at least through about 10 o'clock tonight. I think by midnight we're starting to dry things out as we expect sunshine for your Thursday afternoon. So definitely getting better here pretty quickly. So heavy rain flooding possible tonight with those gusty winds, maybe some sporadic power outages. That rain ends in the overnight hours, and then we're clearing things out with some pretty nice weather, as you can see on the 7-day going through the rest of the week. Your Labor Day weekend coming up. Temperatures around where they should be this time of the year, and the good news is that some drier weather on the way. Stay tuned. We got more News 19 coming up after the break.